Aquarius, it's Lynn from Tinker Tarot and Cartomancy, and I'm here to bring you your October 2025 reading. I've already dealt everything out, as you can see, and of course, October is a 10. So something's going to end in your life this month. I think you've been thinking about it for a while. I think you've known that you've wanted change and maybe struggled with it because it's hard to give up something we're used to. And so, but now you're doing it. And one of the things that you're doing is you're nurturing yourself in the process, okay? You're kind of wading through um, to till it feels normal kind of thing. But I think you're nurturing yourself and you're giving yourself permission to want something else, to need something else, to go in a different way than you've been going because of obligation, responsibility, perhaps doubt, something like that. The card that you got, I'm using the Sacred Rebels. I just love this deck, and I love the artwork in it as well because it's very descriptive, and the nakedness talks about your vulnerability, how vulnerable you feel right now, and don't feel confident in your own needs, wants, desires. But here, the bees, if you can see there, the bees are nurturing. They take care of their queen, okay? And the bees are nurturing. The bees are bringing you, and you're letting them at this time, bringing you some sort of nurturing to make you stand strong again. And also, I noticed these gold bracelets, and to me, they represent balance. She's got the same amount on both arms, and it's representing balance. So there's something, instead of fighting something anymore, you're going to let it go. This could be a relationship, a job, a place you're in, an attitude, a belief, something that, and in some ways, I feel like there could be a pressure from others, society, that is making you feel or have felt that you had to do this, but you don't. You're realizing you don't. There's something you want for yourself. You're allowed to stand up for yourself, and it doesn't mean fighting. It just means believing in what you want and that it's right for you. Not, you're thinking about yourself, taking care of yourself. So I like that. And I think that it's going to take time. You have to learn this new balance. You have to learn to contain yourself, your feelings, not feel them, but not get caught up in drama and stuff. You're like, no, I'm going to do this, and I know that's what I'm doing, and there's no discussion. I'm doing it. So I really like this new you. So I'm using the transparent tarot this month. I thought it'd be a good month for transparency. In the cards and the underlying energy, these jumped out, and these are kind of time cards in a way. I'll let you know the time frame. But we begin with the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles, trying to get the light right, needs to adjust, shows this man. He's has one pentacle on his head, and or one in his arms and two under his feet. And so he's showing these pentacles that, the idea he wants to form, what he's involved in. But he's not showing all of it. He's got his feet on these two, keeping these under wraps. And it's a balance as well. And we don't have to share everything. We don't have to tell everybody anything. We can keep things to ourselves. It doesn't mean anything wrong. And so I feel like you're withholding either value, information, or your plans at this time for reasons that you know are are right for you. And I might have to switch glasses. I love my fun glasses, but I might have to switch because I can't see as good as I can in the other glasses. So then it's followed by the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles, because this is what's on your mind. This is what you want to do. You're thinking this and you're showing that, withholding this, but you're ready for something new. When we get to the 10, we're ready to let something go so that we can move on to the new. We're bored. We need a new challenge. We need something new to do at this time. And so this is like the king, and he has a family and a home and land and maybe a business. But even with all that, he's bored. You need a goal. You kind of need a goal, and he doesn't have a goal right now, and he wants one. So he's got ideas here about what he wants to do or what you want to do. Then you have the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups, because you might reveal to your family, your coworkers, or whoever, part of your plan at this time. And you may not be getting a good response, good feedback that could be, what? You're leaving us? What's going on? And so you're feeling that it's not it's things have fallen apart, something's fallen apart here, but behind you are three cups, and the three cups are still possibilities in the relationship. There's still something there, even though right now they're disappointed or they're upset. And I don't want you to take on these feelings. That's okay. They're allowed to be upset, they're allowed to not like it, but it doesn't affect me. I'm going to still continue to do what I want. Not people may not like it, and that's okay. You know, you're like having this new attitude. That's okay. If you don't like it, I like it. That's what's important. But I think it's still difficult for you because, you know, maybe you wanted to please in the past, or and then look at this. This is the Aquarius card, and it's the Queen of Swords. Okay. And I like that, like, look at, she touches all of the energy here that's going on in this combination. So, first of all, she has it in her mind and she is determined. She has her sword up and she's ready to move forward. And she's ready to move forward because it's smart. She's got an idea that's brilliant. She's looked into it. She's done her homework on this situation. She knows what she's doing. She believes what she's doing. And she's not going to let the feelings of others stop her, maybe like she has in the past. So, this is you, Aquarius. You're not going to let the feelings of others stop you from what you want to pursue, the ideas you have, what you desire, want in your life at this time. So she's coming from there, but she's moving to here very quickly. This is your goal. This is what you have in mind. And I also want to say in the 10 of Pentacles, it's success, right? She's going after success. She wants to succeed. She wants to be able to enjoy the comforts of life. And in the 10, we're also leaving something to the next generation. We've built something to be proud of that we can pass on to our kids or our grandkids. And then the 10 of Cups. And it's saying this will be successful. This will be successful. You won't have to hide anymore. This 10 of Cups is right over top of this Four of Pentacles. So you're not going to have to hide your feelings, your desires, and I think also eventually it's going to improve relationships better than they ever were before. But I feel like you're moving on to something that you're going to be really happy about. And and joy. Like that's going to bring you a lot of joy. And also, it's taking the family or your relationship with someone or others to a new level. Okay. There's a possibility you could be thinking about moving out, moving away from the responsibility or relationship. It could be your family, a friend, and but you would like something new to develop out of it, something different. It's not the end, it's a new beginning. Um, so, in the body of the tarot, this is the past, present, and future of October. Okay. Sometimes it takes a little longer for things to happen. And for others, you'll say, well, that happened already. And so some of you are moving faster than others, or your cog, I should say, is moving at a different pace than the other cogs. So, in the past or the recent past, you have the moon. No, no, you don't. You have the magician. I thought that was moon, but it's the magician. And so, of course, the magician has a lot of experience, um, a lot of intellect, a lot of knowledge, and also skills. So he's mastered all of the suits. The magician has mastered them all, and is very wise and patient and smart and ready to take action. So he can take an idea and manifest it into something. So I feel like you are in the magician energy where you have an idea and you're ready to fit. You might be an entrepreneur in some sort of way. And it could have to do with healing too. The magician is a helper usually as well. Um, then you have the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands usually is competition or material challenges, but it's also trying to get your idea and across to others so that they hear you, and but you're maybe having conflict, and like I say, others may not like your new plan. They may like, what. And so it's getting them to listen. But I really think that you're just going to take control and move forward with it and stop waiting for permission, or to go ahead and do this. All right, you'll do it. And there is the Emperor. Look at that, how this picture has changed. So it went from the magician at the very beginning to this, you know, I like to call this one everybody's talking, but nobody's listening. It's competition with other people's ideas, and especially about what you should be doing, you know. And then with the Emperor, is you could be arguing with the establishment in some way, government, control. It's control over a lot, everyone's lives. So this is what you're wanting. You're wanting control. You're a big away, because in some ways I don't think you have control. I think you could be living in some ways to the demands of someone else or the feelings of someone else, okay? And feeling, you know, not nourished in this situation. This is what you need. So in the emperor is stability. The emperor is usually the boss, the landlord, could be the father figure. But it's also about gaining control in our lives, right? In areas that we don't have control. And one of the areas is the only conflict in these three cards in this situation is this Five of Wands. And so it's maybe you also, too, Aquarius, should be listening. Everyone needs to stop and listen sometimes. It's also a part of communication. But and and then waiting your turn. But I think you're going to go ahead whether you have the approval of or not of others. And that's the change in you. That's what you're letting go of here, is your decisions based on others. Okay. So in the present, so probably about mid-October, you start with the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is like, this is like something that we don't want to see. We don't want to admit. This could be you're with yourself or the situation. And so, you know, this guy doesn't want to, it's kind of like picking sides kind of thing here. And it's something you don't want to do, you don't want to be pushed into. And I think it's probably better to look at it and deal with it, put everything on the table, because then you know what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? So something you don't want to see here, you don't want to admit, and it's probably something to do with a relationship. So this is family, your partner, a friend. And so this is when we're able to reunite, come back together, decide to see our things we have in common. Maybe once you're able to discuss, because this is also a meeting where we meet and we have discussions, and this is honesty, right? This is facts and details and honesty. And then it's, you maybe need to get that out, and also standing up for yourself, right? Standing up for yourself. So when you do, I think, someone has respect for you, or they have respect for you now, and they know you mean what you say. And then look at that. The Phoenix. Look at that. This is a good process, I think, for you. And it's a learning process. It doesn't start out easy, but it ends really well. And I think you grow, you get your power back. You get your power back because you take it. And I think you take it gently. You don't fight. You just say, no, no, I'm not doing it. And people don't really have a reply. Or sometimes they're you know shocked that they get defensive, and it's like, why are you getting defensive? It's a decision about my life, not your life. Anyhow, so in the future, near the end of October, there is the King of Pentacles. And so the King of Pentacles is a successful person. They don't go for just everything put at them. They know they're looking at things to see what value it has to yourself and the world. They can see the value in things and know what's worth their efforts. And so in the King, we've learned a lot about business here. This could be a business you're thinking about getting into, especially with the Emperor here. There also could be a partnership you're thinking about getting into, but there's things you got to work out first before you feel confident in this partnership. And so the King thinks about it. He's thinking about, do I want to get involved in this or not, and looks at all the possibilities of it. And it's okay for there to be challenges, but they're the ones that we're willing to deal with, ones that we're willing to accept. So the King is wise about business and also taking care of the self, because Pentacles are about healing and our bodies as well. And so this is interesting. So Temperance over the King. So it's so interesting because this is a king. This could be a person coming into your life. This doesn't have to be you, Aquarius. This could be a king, a person coming into your life. And this person has learned or is learning to have balance in their lives. There are going to be problems, but we will work through them, and we will just not panic. We'll think about, okay, what is the problem, and break it down and have a few steps we have to get through, and work through it. You're able to contain both fire and poison at the same time, balancing them, not staying in one energy, thinking something through, and dealing with stuff. I notice nowadays that people have a really hard time dealing with a lot of things, especially planning, goal planning or problem planning. I've got a situation. How am I going to get it? What am I going to do? So sometimes writing it down, and it seems like a simple thing, and people don't like to write anymore, but you're not going to believe how it starts to form when you start right. Okay, here's my problem. Okay, what could I do? I could call the bank, and then I could call the seller, and then I could call, and so you have lay it out, and then more will come to you as you start to think about it, plan about it. So the king is very experienced and has a lot of skills and abilities. And at this point, he's learned or is conquering how to temper himself or herself. And they're evolving, evolving that way. Temperance is about patience too. And the King of Pentacles is about patience. He does not jump at just anything that people say you should do this or you should be doing this. He needs to think about it, take his time. And then, like, what a beautiful combination. So this is the 3 of Cups, okay? And it's crowning the situation here. This is crowning. This is beautiful. And there's something to celebrate here, okay, about this person, this business idea, and doing this for yourself, tempering yourself about what is yours and what is not, what you want and what they want, what can I do versus what I should do, kind of thing. And so this is going to bring you some sort of something good is coming out of this for you emotionally, and also maybe in a reward kind of a way. You get, and this is hard work too. It's not easy to change something about ourselves, to change a belief that we've always had, that we were brought up with. It's hard to change those core messages we may have got, or maybe more recent messages. But anyway, you are going to conquer this. There's an initial success here. You've reached a new level, and it's making you very happy. And I think you might be meeting new people. Getting different opinions, opening your objective scope on things. And you're probably loving this, Aquarius, because you're a very analytical person. So you're learning to think a new way, and it's just opened up a whole new thing for you. It's awesome. So now we have the cartomancy. I want to go back and point out that this is the 10th month, okay? This is the 10th card and this one. And you also got a 10 in here, or the 10 of Pentacles. So there is definitely something ending here. But it's a good thing, even though, like I said, it could be something you've been doing for years, so it might be difficult. This change might be a little bit challenging for you, but you will work through it. All right. And so in the cartomancy, you have the Ace of Spades, and the Ace of Spades is an ending. Something is ending here. Okay, I can't explain any more than that. It depends on the situation in which you're going through. Where are we here? These are already shuffled and cut, and I just set them aside. I don't lay them out yet because my arm keeps hitting them while I'm talking and picking up cards, and they end up on the floor, and it just drives me crazy. Crazy. So I go around 3 times until there's 3 cards in each pile, and I look at one pile at a time. So this is where you are now at the present moment. Jack of diamonds, 9 of spades, and the 7 of diamonds. um, so it looks like a message of that someone's sick or mental health issues. This could be yourself, but I feel like perhaps a message came in or is coming in. And in the 7 of diamonds, we're kind of it could represent a financial help. I just got a feeling of the health, like a health insurance, something like that, needing health insurance or some sort of help. It could be something to do with your health. You could have gotten a message from a secretary. Or also, this could be a young person in your life that could be having health challenges or mental health challenges. Anyway, I think with a solid plan, there's something good that come out of this. You can be successful in this situation, but you need a plan. Okay. But it could have something to do with health insurance and getting the health insurance feel off this. All right. And I think you will be successful. Then coming in probably end of the first week, second week of October, you have the 10 of diamonds, the 2 of spades, and the 8 of clubs. No, 10 of clubs. So 2 tens. Okay. So there's a possibility you're moving. I think there's a strong possibility you're moving because in between these 2 tens, you have the 2 of spades. And the 2 of spades is separation. You are separating from a situation. This could also be you saying that whatever the situation is affecting your health. And so you need change right now. And so effectively, you're separating. But I'm going to tell you these 2 tens, like there's something that somebody doesn't want to separate in the situation. Someone doesn't want to, you or them or someone. But however, there is a lot of success in this separation. Both of these tens are successful. This is financially successful. It's going to bring you more security in some way to do this. And you could have been in a secure situation already. However, you need to grow. You need to grow, and you need, like I said, to feel passionate about something again. You want something new, so therefore you need to leave this. So, first or second week in October. Did I say August just a minute ago? I mean October. Above you, which is kind of on your mind, like maybe part of your plans, what you're thinking, what you're contriving, is the 5 of clubs, the 5 of diamonds, and the Queen of clubs. Now, the Queen of clubs is usually a brown or hazel eyed woman. She is very good. What's the word I want to say? That comes up with an idea factory. Okay. So if you said, "Oh, I've always wanted to do this," and that this lady would say, "Oh, did you? I always wanted to paint." And oh, there's painting classes now in restaurants. You can go, you order a drink or coffee, and they have canvases, and you pay $25 or whatever, and you can go and just paint. Doesn't matter what kind of, and it's classes to help you learn to do that, and it's with a bunch of strangers. It's kind of cool. So that you might think, "Oh, I'm going to do it." It's kind of like that. So there's some sort of good change. And I notice that they're the exact same suits as these two tens. So this is a 10 of diamonds, 10 of clubs, 5 of diamonds, 5 of clubs. So this is the change happening here, okay? And it could be through this person. They might give you ideas, um, uh, help you see something differently, that you may never thought of. You're used to thinking that way. You never thought that way, and so they could be broadening your scope. But I feel like there is something new around your work or home. I feel like it's financially going to improve for you, that's going to bring more money or more security in some way. And I think it's doing something different. Um, and this Queen of Clubs is very good at taking action, at manifesting, and the ideas like of how to do it. Very good with networking. So, anyway, you got some people on your team here, it looks like, in your actual work pile. Sometimes this does reflect work and sometimes it doesn't, but you have the Four of Clubs, the Eight of Hearts, and the Seven of Clubs. Um, okay, it looks like you're doubtful about someone sweet talking. Someone is sweet talking you at this point, and it makes you doubt. I'm not sure if you're believing it, and it's causing you to have concern. And because I feel like someone's trying to sweet talk you, and they don't realize that it's making you think and hesitate more than you even were before. Okay, you're not falling for it. This is how others are actually seeing you or influencing you. Three of diamonds, eight of spades, and the jack of clubs. Um, I feel that when you have ideas, and they're good ideas, by the way, they're very good ideas, there's a ton of potential. This is an actual initial wish card where part of the wish is coming true, which you got in this Three of Cups as well. So this is twice now. You've had this initial part of the wish coming true, even though others are giving you flack. You're getting flack from a friend. It could be a particular friend, but they could be jealous or don't want to lose you. They like you exactly where you are, what you're doing, because it helps them. But what about you? What about you? What about what you want? What about what helps you? So I feel like you're getting criticism, perhaps. A friend is giving you negative feedback, probably hoping to change your mind about something that's actually happening for you. Now that it's starting to happen, they're like, what? I like her or him right there. What are they doing? What do they think they're doing? In the foundation, this has usually already happened or it's happening as we speak. And you have a lot of jacks, so there's a lot of young people. This is your third jack. A lot of talk going on too. So this is Jack of Hearts. This could be a family member. Ace of Clubs, Five of Hearts. So I'm wondering if someone is moving. Like I said, I have a big idea that someone's moving. They could be getting a new job too, but this also represents the home or the business, the idea, this business plan, perhaps. And the Five of Hearts, because I feel like this is to do with family in some way. You could be moving in with a family member, someone moving in with you, perhaps, or you're starting a business with a family member. But this is like a lot of good talk, a lot of positivity, and the Five of Hearts is support. You're getting a lot of support in this, emotional support, and that's where you want to be. You can see it now that you can do it, you can have it, and this is where you want to be. This is your foundation now. regardless of what other people think or want. Now, this is a surprise pile. Surprise! Eight of clubs, nine of diamonds, four of diamonds. So this is pretty good. This is a work talk. So you're going to be having talk and conversations about what you want to do, where you want to take your idea, how you're going to do it, your plan. This is focusing, really focusing on what you want to do and networking. And then the nine of diamonds is ambition. So you have a lot of energy and drive to move toward this now, and you might be trying to get financial support in some way, see if there's money available, access to you to be able to do it. And then the four of diamonds is a bit of a pause. Okay, so not a halt. All right, so like I said in the before, you're learning to balance the challenges and get through them, make your way through something. So the four is a pause. It's, everything can't happen in a day. So you may have to work something financial out in this situation. You could be asking the bank for help or a loan or a small loan or something, maybe something to do with space somewhere. But this is really positive conversations, positive progress. But how about there might be a delay, or it doesn't begin until, oh, I would say, well, the first thing that came to mind is December. That's the first thing that came to mind, December. Second is April. All right. So, in the meantime, while you're waiting for start date, you're very focused and you're going to do a lot of work and you're very ambitious and trying to be ready for this. But this is a surprise, I think, this little delay, or that because you may have thought it's going to start right away, you'll be able to just move forward. And they said, oh no, the next one doesn't open up until December. Oh, okay, huh. It's still all good progress. Like you still have it, it's yours, but there's a sort of a time thing, I think, there. All right. So, this is so nice, Aquarius. I'm so glad that you're, um, really standing up for yourself and protecting your needs and what's good for you. I think you've been helping, serving, doing for other people, or maybe what you thought you should be doing. And so you, are just taking care, you're listening to yourself. But I feel like there could be some sort of a health issue that you may need to pay attention to here. It could be mental health, it could be physical health, it could be addiction, it could be, or someone around you. And I think that there might be ideas or plans to get out of it, to start, like if it's doubt, let's say, you might start to put affirmations up on your wall, in your bathroom, on your fridge, at your desk, to remind you that it's okay, it's all right. I'll be okay. I am a nice person. I can be successful. Something that that what you doubt, you should put in glaring letters around you somewhere to let you know you can. You can overcome this. You will get through this. It's just a hurdle. All right. So, congratulations, all is going very well. And congratulations on your new beginning. So we go from the zero or the one in October. I mean the 10 or the one, because October is that threshold, that doorway, to the two in November. And so the two is a lot of partnership and planning. And that's what I said, You're going to have time to plan. It's going to slow down just a little bit, but it's good because you can perfect something, master something, get it all figured. Bring um it's solid. It's a solid business plan, okay? Or approach, whatever you're doing. All right. Have to let me know, Aquarius. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching and sharing and supporting me. I really appreciate it. All right. Bye now.